welcome to my channel. Now I am going to do a kit down for this week's WiPnChat. So grab your work and grab your drinks. I have Ziploc bags here. I'm kitting down into Ziploc bags. I'm kitting down this, which is Who You Say I Am, to free up my storage containers. And hopefully everything will go reasonably smoothly with this. Alright, I have a catalogue of drills. I have kind of done this from the get-go. Whenever I kit down, I put drills on. These are the Diamond Art Club catalogue. This is the Diamond Art Club catalogue, I guess, for want of a better term. So what I will do is I'll move this out of my way, but still within reach. Hang on. Just need somewhere to put it. This can then go down here. They are in sort of number order. Alright, I have a tea. Bucket of tea. Cheers. Okay. I'm looking at, I've just looked at, it's a winter blue sky out there. You know, where it's the thin pale blue, and yeah, this morning it was freezing cold, like you have no idea how. It was foggy and miserable, and yes, it's looking quite pleasant now. Alright, now the plan with this is 4 drills. I have already primed this. Can you get her something to eat, please, Carmen? I've already primed this with double-sided tape, so that's what I'm peeling off when I go to peel off. I will put these on, and that's my record of the drill colour. And Sophie has just woken up. A little bit of a cranky pants. And I need a bag. Alright. So first things first, the record goes down. Second thing is I tip the drills in. Now, third part is labeling these. Now, I should be right. Everything I've put down doesn't have a drill to go on it. So, okay. Put the lid on. That gives me some leverage. I do apologise for any lag. My computer is working its little heart out at the moment. It is doing a bit of a mammoth project, exporting it. Alright, so I'm keeping the stickers. I don't necessarily need to keep this one though. And you know what? I'm actually not going to take that off, because that numbered sticker will just be my container number. So that will be container number 2. You don't need to see full focus on that. Now, one of the other things, and literally what I'm doing with this bag, is just chucking it into my tray. Okay? It's just going in loose. It doesn't matter, because I have a plan for afterwards. So far what I have done in my kitting down has been that I keep the drills in the kit that they come in. So I bag into Ziploc bags, and then I put all those Ziploc bags into a big Ziploc bag, put the tag, my card that identifies it, in there, and that then is labelled, I suppose, and goes into the long-term storage situation. Now, oh, that's 310. I shouldn't have done that. Hang about 310. I have a bag. This was from I Miss You, and I'm actually going to consolidate. Now, this is something I will show you. I shouldn't have put it into the bag, but here you go. Anyway, Okay, the label is going to go on the bag as well, and it's going to show the different, actually it's not really important that it goes on, what's more important is that it comes off. But I will show you what we've got. Okay, so you can see we've got two labels. So we've got the top one being from this kit and the 5 being from I Miss You. They've used the same icon in this case for the 310. Alright, the 5 being the number of that kit's order. Whereas in this kit, it's number 3. Okay. 312 doesn't have anything, and that's what I should have been tipping in. My bad. Try and keep these in order. Alright, oh, the other thing I will show you on the next round while I start getting into the rhythm of this. Oops. And I haven't taken my drills out for it, which was really stupid. See, talking and my husband's giggling at me going multitasking. It's like, alright. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'll start to maybe get hopefully into a rhythm, and then I can actually start talking to you and not kind of giving instructions. Does that make sense? Gotta hope so. Oh dear. Okay, I need to. Right. I'm so out of practice using tweezers. I actually like using tweezers. I like the dexterity you can get and the delicate movements you can get by using them. Now these are my sticky tweezers as well, so these deal with sticky stuff, so stuff does stick to them when I then go and use them when I shouldn't be. So actually what I should have potentially is 2 lots of tweezers, one for sticky and one for non-sticky. Okay, now what I have stuck these down with is my Xyron sticker makers labels. I think these look like sticker maker labels. They don't look like DAC labels that have been cut down. They look like bad photocopies. Alright, so there we go, 312. 336 is next, so we'll unsticky this. Dump the scrap. Fish out 4 of these while I actually can fish them. I'm not very good with using chopsticks, but yeah, for some reason the tweezers seem to behave themselves slightly. I say slightly, I'll probably pinch these too hard and send a drill going flying. It's just to give a really rough kind of, this is what the drill should look like, and because these are all my DAC drills, my DMC matte colours should match within fairly good kind of scope. One thing that might happen with the COVID thingamajig is that with the drills, if you're not already aware, the drills, the manufacturers are running out of drills because the factories have been shut down. That will affect DAC as well. So that will cause a knock-on effect, and it may affect the die lots. So just be aware when you're mixing your Diamond Art Club drills for any kit that's produced post-COVID, for instance, so post-March. I wouldn't go any earlier than that because the drills would have been in supply. Maybe April would have still had old stock, but post-April, definitely I would be considering that the drill stock the color may have changed a bit. So just be aware of that, and you know, keep your knickers unknotted if something has changed. Yeah, just bear with everything, because it's a whole different economy and everything else. I mean, I know dyes technically shouldn't have changed. The chemicals that they get are probably chemicals from Bayer, the medical company. They make the... Oh, you're not right. You're not meant to be there. There's a stray drill color. Yeah, they make the dyes. I used to work for them back in the 80s, and yeah, you get particular dye lots. So yeah, anyway, it's just how it is with dyeing plastics, fabrics, everything else. So dye lots are very, very important. You would know this if you are into knitting. If you've been around the DMC traps for any little while, you will know that dye lots change from dye lot to dye lot. That's why they're called a dye lot, because it might take one tiny change and it affects the color. It's just, it puts it off slightly. Now, not everyone can see that slight change. I know I can. It doesn't necessarily mean I can identify which color is which, but I have, when I went to apply for a job, I had to do a particular eyesight test that was testing color blindness, and you got a little tray that was 25 or 30 colors, and you had to go from red to green in the proper order, and I passed, because aside from being a girl, my eyesight is perfect, and I could tell the difference going from the reds through to the green. So it was a gradual progression, and I could actually tell the colors going through. So now, yeah, my color sight is perfect. My color perception is perfect. My eyesight's shite. Can't see for shit. It's like, I know. Bane of my life. They went at the age of 10. And they still change. 47 and they're still freaking changing. It's like, right. 413, I couldn't find a thing for. Now, I forgot. I still have some spare drills in here as well. 648. I will need that card. I think these are mostly empty. Oh, more 310. Right. Those are too big. Mind you, the 310 might get reused. Hang about. 310. What did I do with that one? 310. I'm going to put the 310 in with the 310. Okay, so the bag is going to grow. Yeah, the other thing I was going to show you, while it seems to be that every video I try this on fails, but let's have a go. Ziploc bags. To open Ziploc bags and be able to pour, you slide one finger and the other, you literally just slide. It pops open and you have a spout. You don't use the sharp corner, you use that rounded edge, and that means you can tip. Something I found and I have tried to teach, but as I say, my technical computer seems to have a fart every time I try and do it. So I'm hoping 2 or 3 of those throughout the video. You get the idea. Okay, next. 597. Alright, so what's been happening? Second week off work. I'd love not to go back, to be honest. Quite happy to be a homebody. What have I done? I have cross-stitched. I finished my train, and if I can remember at around the 15-minute mark, I will insert a picture of my train. It is the bomb. I found one of the girls, I think she's called Molly. This is on the Letters to Hogwarts stitch along. I found Molly's pattern for the steam, and I've forgotten to take those drills out again. So let me take 4. I'm trying not to puncture the bag. So Molly had designed Steam. Maybe it wasn't Molly, maybe it was somebody else. They had designed Steam, and then they added the file to the folder, and it was really weird because the train that they actually used was like an electric kind of train, like a bullet kind of thing, but it had steam puffing out the top. So used that pattern because a couple of other people had used this pattern of steam. One other had done the smoky kind of steam, and it was just like a wispy thin line, and it didn't look as fun. So this one's got the billowing puffs of smoke that you get from a classic steam engine. And yeah, it took a while to do that, and then I did the back stitching on the train, and now my owl looks absolutely crap sitting next to it. So I'm thinking there is a pattern for what's called Hedwig on one of the many Harry Potter sites, and he's flying, the wings are out, full flap, and carrying a scroll, and I'm thinking I'm going to rip out my current owl and put the flying owl in, which means I've got a frog, which means I'm going to feel like no progress is being made, but I think I will be overall happier with that owl because it's one of the first things that you get to see in Harry Potter is the owls coming to deliver the letters. So then what I've done is the train. Excuse me. I could have done the castle next, a la Stuart's design, but a couple of other people have also done this as well. This is what I love about this whole project, how we can chop and change and make it our own. So in my mind, the train comes first after the letters, and that means that the castle comes next after the train, because they get the train to Hogwarts and then they get the boats to the castle. So in my mind it was the other way around. So I put the train in first, and I also, this was taxing, I changed the direction of the train going from right to left towards you, going left to right, so it's now going towards the castle. Still going towards the castle, I guess. It was going towards the castle anyway on the original design. So I've reversed it, so that was a bit of a brain shift. And as I said, I think on one of my other WiPnChats, probably a good thing that my brain can at least work that way, but I had to frog it a few times because I was making mistakes. So now I have started on the castle. I have decided not to go with the original castle design. God. I'm going with an alternate, which apparently looks more authentic than Stuart's design. I think it's a nicer design for me. And that's what I'm going to go with. I stitched the base of the hill, top of the hill I suppose, the other day when I was doing a Zoom chat with some friends, and yeah, got started on that, so that's the next part. It's now Tuesday, and the TicWatch along has had its release on Sunday morning, and I still haven't got on to this week, so that's going to be tonight's project. To finish, not finish, we're nowhere near finished, but to do Hugh's hair, and so I'm up to date on that one. And then tomorrow night will be the next release in the Peppermint Purple stitch along, and that's usually a one night project, although tomorrow's release is a double box, so it might take a smidge longer depending on how intricate the design was. Oh my god, last week's design was just like, oh, this is mine messing with me, because it was shifting over. It was a gorgeous Celtic knot kind of configuration, but it was shifting over by one each knot row. Oh gosh, starting to get into the swing of the things by the end of it, but yeah, that was an interesting pattern. So I've done some more ice dyeing. Oh, I've got some static scissors. I've done some ice dyeing, some more ice dyeing. And I have been asked to do a video on that one. So that will be somewhere down the pipeline if you're ever interested in trying ice dyeing. It's pretty stupid. It's pretty easy. Like, I don't think anyone can really go too far wrong with it, to be honest. See what I mean by my sticky tongs, or sticky tweezers? There we go. Ouch, damn spot. So ice dyeing has been a lot of fun. I've ended up with a custom dye piece for my blackwork, for my Ireland finish. Ireland, it's the shape of Ireland is the teddy bear in green. I may have shown you before. If not, it will be on a floss tube if you want to check that out. This week I have been working on getting this baby finished. This is Who You Say I Am. Now, I started recording this back in December, and I recorded a whole heap of audio for the chapter readings and a whole heap of the diamond painting process. 6:47 I have got, so this means joining up with another bag. So what I did while I had the time off was to crack on with some more of it, and it got to the point where I'm kind of going, I'm loving this so much, and I was seeing the progress and I was seeing how I was working it up. So I do describe this in my finishing video, which I've got going out I think on Thursday my time, and you can see how I kind of progressed with finishing this one. But I basically did the whole kind of bottom of her with the hand, did the hand from left to right I think, and then I went up the right hand side, did the top of his hand reaching, and then went across, did the clouds and down, and left her as the last kind of piece to do, the pièce de résistance. And I will show you the sticker on this one in just a second. And yeah, I loved the progress, so I just kept going and going and spent hours of bliss just doing this. This is why you cannot reuse your containers, okay? Do you see the symbols and how they've changed? You've got a chevron on one, and you've got what I call the top right triangle on the other. They've both got the same background because the color is the same, but the symbols are different. Okay, so please do not think you can use them, and don't confuse them if you do. Okay, now 648 has these. Then you can go out of the way. These were very lightly stuck down. Oh. So I'm trying not to pull them back up. There we go, I think. Hope so. Alright, what else has been going on? I've been reading quite a bit this week. Cora Sefton did a series that I started reading a while ago, very slowly. Okay, it's, you know, slightly trashy, don't judge me, but they were based on a military family. So those 4 brothers who were all in the military in some shape or form. And just to avoid spillage, they have been given a direction by the aunt. So their father and mother had owned the ranch. The father had died of an aneurysm, and his brother moved onto the ranch, kicked that family off, so they all left for Florida, grew up or whatever. He then ran the ranch into the ground, and he was supposed to be leaving the farm to someone. Anyway, this old aunt, Biddy as I'd call her, which is not an endearing term in Ireland, this old Biddy starts interfering with these 4 boys' lives, 4 men's lives, saying, if you want to inherit the ranch, you are going to, all 4 of you, get married, and at least one of you has to have a child. I don't know if that meant the child had to be on the way or just born. Anyway. So the it starts off with each book is dedicated to each male, and how the mail order kind of ad is put up and all of this kind of malarkey. Anyway, he falls in love, and then the next brother, he falls in love, and yeah, it just kind of goes on from there. It was really nice. Look, I really enjoyed it. But I really, really enjoyed this girl's writing. Now, Rebecca Schilling actually put a post up in her group, I think recently. If you had to be stuck in a book, what book would you like to be stuck in? And well, it's not one book. She's written a series, and the same, like I actually wrote, as my response to that, was Clan of the Cave Bear series. Because, yeah, it would be an interesting time to live in. Oh, I forgot to do that one as well. Lordy. So yeah, the rambling thoughts. So now I've gone from that book to another series, which yeah, is probably even slightly more interesting. It's still based with the army guys, and I'm not quite sure what her background is, why she's picking army SEALs. Is that the latest thing? To be honest, when I keep seeing these books, it's like, oh, it used to be Marry a Millionaire, now it's Marry a Billionaire. Of course, they never tell you how the guys have actually made their money, but yeah, fantasies. Yeah, I really enjoy the writing, but the story this time round is based on another challenge. You can have the land if you do such and such, and the TV producer is dictating that the 4 guys who have been friends for life take over a particular ranch, and they have to get married. They have to have at least 1 child on the way in a certain amount of time, and if they manage to do this on a reality TV show, they want to do a sustainable living kind of community. The kind of the in-joke at the moment with the character is that it's a commune. But either way, on this ranch, they're to make a sustainable community, to try and show how they can live off the land with low impact and all of this kind of thing. Well, the females in the story have had tough jobs. They've lost jobs or whatever. One of them says that she's been threatened by she doesn't know by who, to be honest. She's been threatened at the school that she works in to be raped and killed. So they're all, bad life decisions and, debts and everything else. They've lost their creativity, and they're all kind of going, okay, we're done with this. We're going to take 6 months off. We're going to go to your uncle's ranch, who one of the girls says that they can go and stay in. Well, it turns out that this ranch has been sold from under her feet because she thought she was going to inherit it. And this guy is now there. Well, she grew up with him. And, yeah, so I'm only in the start of the story. So yeah, looking forward to where this will go. But the girls have made this pact going to the ranch to leave the modern trappings behind and go all Jane Austen. So on the first night that they get there, they burn their clothes as a show of we're not going back into the worldly stuff. And he rocks up and it's like, yeah, pandemonium. So they're going around in Jane Austen frocks on the new ranch, the property, and I don't know how this is going to blend in with the whole sustainable living. Are they going to stay in the frocks for the whole setting? There's the whole teasing that the military guy is, you know, Mr. Darcy kind of thing. They kept calling him lieutenant or lieutenant is the English pronunciation. Yeah, it's all a bit silly for now. But as I'm aware now, Cora puts a couple of twists in that you really don't see coming, and it's really quite cool. So I'm really looking forward to where this is going to go. Again, this is another one with the two symbols. You've got what I call the drumstick, lollipop, mic drop, and you've got a plus symbol. So again, please, please, please be careful. Oh, and the background on that, it is a kind of peach. It does look a bit green on the camera. All right. Next. Oops. Sliding. Oop. Yeah, I have my work email on my phone, and I really have been enjoying looking at the emails and not dealing with anything if it's not urgent, and there hasn't been anything reasonably urgent to have to deal with that hasn't been easy to deal with. So that has been nice. One thing I'm going to miss is we had a social distancing kind of issue when that was all brought in. You know, we weren't supposed to be closer than 1.5 meters, 6 feet kind of thing, and our work canteen is quite small, and when everyone's in there it's very, very full. So we stopped doing the lunchtime quizzes, and one of the guys decided that he would resurrect the lunchtime quiz from the boss, and he was doing it online. So we were using WebEx Teams, if you're familiar with Microsoft or WebEx. Anyway, so he was doing it online, and it was causing all kinds of consternation. People couldn't type. The boss was using a speech to type thing, so his computer was spelling it wrong, and the rule was that the first answer counted and spelling is counted. So it did get quite hilarious, and some people were like, how in the hell do you type that fast? And you could hear some of them roaring because they were, you know, not socially distancing, or they were in the lunchtime, in the lunchroom area together doing the quiz. So one person might be searching and the other person might be typing, and the whole point of this quiz was if you don't know the answer, it's going to take you a long time to actually hunt it. So yeah, it was quite a lot of fun. So I ended up doing it for 2 weeks from home, which again, that was fun too. This time around I won't be able to do it, and I'm buggered if I'm actually going into the office for the quiz. Short story. Yeah, so I'm going to miss out. And apparently all the scores have reset to 0. Which means that, you know, we're all back level pegging, because one of my colleagues came in to the quiz one day, and this was, I think, the last day she worked on a Friday or something, and she literally answered nearly every damn question, and it was like, oh my god, just go, get out of here. It was, yeah, so funny. So then she joined in online one week, but yeah, I share the office with her, so I get on pretty well with her. But I don't know if she'll be in on Fridays. Before I left, she had a major hiccup with childcare, in that the childcare business is another one with different symbols. The business that had her kids in childcare, she had to drop a day because her mother used to look after the kids, and they didn't want the mum looking after the kids while COVID was around because, you know, hey, older people getting it and all that kind of thing. So she changed one of her work days. Well, that was all well and good and suited this childcare company until they turned around and said, well, everyone can go back to work now. And the childcare company had the balls to say to this woman, okay, now you have to give up your day because the other people who had those days are coming back. But they wouldn't give her her day back. And it was like, oh my freaking God, I'd be having a blue fit. Anyway, she was getting all stressed and flappy, and just from the initial reaction to being, you know, dropped in the lurch. What are you supposed to do? You work part-time as it is, and then you're told, oh, you can't have those days anymore, and you know you can't have your old days back, and it's like, what the actual? So yeah, I'm hoping she's got it sorted out now, and yeah, we'll see what way she's working when she's back. But yeah, it sucks. I'm so glad that I don't have childcare issues with hubby being home to look after Sophie. That would be really difficult, and it's not cheap either. They were giving subsidies out for parents, like huge subsidies with COVID and childcare here. It was really quite good for a little while, but I'm not sure how much longer that continues. So, but that was going to certainly help them. It's something like, I don't know, $400 a week to keep your kid in care, even if it's just part-time. And there was a few that had kids in care with young kids who aren't school age and all that kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, what else happened? Last week on Tuesday, I think. Tuesday I had an appointment. I don't think we've been in the car since then. For a whole week. Like, haven't gone anywhere, haven't needed to go anywhere. We had the shopping delivered this morning as per usual. Yeah. Haven't missed even going out. The beauty, I suppose, of having a... I was going to say, having a nomadic life? No, having a recluse life, yes. Yeah, don't have a problem. The only... Yeah. It would have been nice if I had my block of land that I used to have, but this is fine. I've been busy crafting. It might have been good for the kids. That would be the only benefit to having the couple of acres again. But it was a long drive from the city. There we go. So yeah, other than that, not much has really changed. Done a cross stitch. Done lots of cross stitch. Done lots of diamond painting, which has been really nice. Done a little bit of editing. Oh, I put together bench seats. I was sitting out on the deck one day after work last week on one of the kind of shitty old bench sets, and decided to get the two bench seats that we had in kit form. Hi! Eat your sandwich! Eat your sandwich! Sophie's outside eating her lunch. So yeah, I decided to build the bench seats. The original task had been given to Miss 10, and when I got hold of the bits and pieces, I was less than enamored with my husband having dropped this poor 10-year-old into this position, because there were 4 different screw lengths. 2 important screws actually gave you the distance from one side to the other and stabilized the legs on each side. Then you needed to have the mid-length screws, and those mid-length screws did the back support. And then you used the longer screws for the seat supports. And then you needed the little screws for the retaining strap, for want of a better term, that kept the seat from rocking off angle. Well, I don't think he told her that. She'd put in screws any which way, partially, with an impact driver, or an electronic screwdriver, or whatever the hell. I think it was an impact driver, because he was thrilled she was using the impact driver. But oh my god, she didn't even do it right. She wasn't shown how to do it right. She wasn't given the right screws. She wasn't given the right instructions. And I think she ended up putting screws into about 4 of these slats, doing nothing else. And the seat had never got built. So I get this train wreck of a project that was cheap and nasty to start with. It's not the kids' fault at all. Get the impact driver, figure out that the screws are different lengths and how to put them in the right order and everything else. And then we find that we've lost a bag of screws for the second set because they've been sitting in the backyard so long that the box that they had come in had disintegrated. So there's a box of screws that the rats and mice are now playing with that I cannot find for the life of me. God knows where the hell the stupid thing has gone. So then dragged the husband's mishmash of screw nut collection and everything else. So I've got 2 seats, and I sat on one of the seats with a blanket under me and around me on, I think it was Saturday morning, maybe it was Sunday morning, might have been Sunday morning. Sat out with the blanket wrapped around me like a big old granny rug, and the sun glaring. The sun actually rises over the other side of the river, so it was quite glary. Couldn't see my laptop screen for shit. It was terrible. And tried a Zoom call, so yeah, it was fun. But yeah, sitting on the new bench seats, and then that afternoon sat on the bench seat for something else. So yes, I built some seats. These would be like park bench kind of style seats, you know, those long kind of bench seats that you get. So yeah, there's my claim to progress in the holidays. Hurt my back though in doing it. My lower back wasn't so happy the next day. But that's been pretty good as well this week. My upper back has been a non-thing since the needling and since getting the sit-stand desk, and it's like, oh my freaking god, this is so good. And so long in the process. Like, if you remember back in November, I could barely sit without, you know, feeling so tight in my upper back. It was ridiculous. So the only last, I suppose, vestige of pain at the moment is my left arm cramping, and what I need to do there is a pec stretch, which is, you know, standing in the doorway with your arm like that and, you know, leaning into it. So now I've got stretch written on my bathroom mirror, along with pixter and slow down to do my teeth. So they're my rituals. My physio has actually told me that I should be doing planking as well to fix the lower back. I couldn't be arsed. I should. I really, really should, because my core is all kinds of crap. But anyway, I haven't. And she's kind of going, yeah, that's okay. But it was funny because we sat down and in the session last week, and she's kind of going, oh, look, you'll have to excuse me, I'm running really late because I've been talking to the vet and the dog and all this kind of thing. And apparently her dog, who potentially had been poisoned, down in the town that she lives in. And the town that she lives in was like 10 kilometers past where I used to live. So I'm familiar with the area and all that kind of thing. And I said, no, look, you have got to ring the police. You have got to tell them what happened. And they will either have somebody come have a chat with you, or they'll just take the information and, you know, file it away kind of thing. And she's kind of going, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, she's awesome. She's just young. You know, probably late 20s, I would imagine. And we get on really, really well. She's just funny as all hell. And yeah, so kind of went to the session and ended up kind of giving her a bit of a counselling. As well as then being told, yeah, do your exercises and you pretty much don't come back if you don't need to. So I ended up not actually getting any needles on the last visit. And while my lower back has been a bit iffy, I have, I think, only taken the mother of all painkillers a couple of times in that time. And it's only been one as well. So that's been a bonus. So I'm keeping the rest. And hopefully that will be a thing that's gone. Yeah. So that's that. What else has been happening? 939, I've got one of those. I don't know what project I'm going to do next. Do I? Ooh. You know what? I could. I've got a few Diamond Art Club unboxings to do. I think I might kit up a Diamond Art Club. The problem is, I've found, you open one and it's like, oh my god, I love this, I want to do this now. And you do that with every single one. And it's like, oh, I can't kit up all of them. And the issue then that I have with cracking open a fun kit is I'm not doing the not fun kits. So I haven't touched the Get Your Big On custom of Mount Wellington, which is my the sea view kind of thing. The mountain sunset view that you would have seen in some of my other videos. So I haven't done that. I haven't done the New York skyline, which I'm not going to have finished at this rate for 9/11. So that's a bit depressing, having a timeline, because this is 20th anniversary as well this year. So yeah, it's an ever moment, it's a custom, it's fine. I have also signed up for a mystery diamond painting with Rebecca and Jennifer's craft group. So that's going to be coming in the mail. Julie is my swap partner, Julie Murray. I think she might be Julie M on the tubes. And yeah, I've got a swap with her. So hers has been ordered and I'm really quite happy with the choice that I made. But I did make this post on the groups. I think I made it on a few of the groups actually. How disappointed I was going through Evermoment's site and finding so many, not just Diamond Art Club, and I know everyone kind of harps on, oh, Diamond Art Club's artwork, blah blah blah. It wasn't just Diamond Art Club's artwork, it was DIY Moon Shops. It was there was one of the other big groups, I think possibly Star Wars? I could be wrong. Maybe it was just one of the other, like Craftably or something. Treasure Studios Art, sorry. So it's DIY Moon Shop, Treasure Studios Art, and DAC. And there was all three of those company stuff on Evermoment. I sent a message through to DAC to my contact, and they told me that they can't really do an awful lot with the Chinese companies. They can ask them to take it down, but that doesn't mean that they will or have any obligation to do it. So really disappointing. And there has since been comments that I have seen from the less scrupulous in the community kind of going, oh, I couldn't get what I wanted off DAC, so I just looked on AliExpress and I found something there. And it's kind of like, you really don't seem to get the concept of, one, supporting the artist, two, supporting a known company, three, you know, getting reliable drills and a canvas you can read and all that kind of thing. And I was just like, what is the point, you know, in us harping on and saying, look, there is a reason why the cheats, the copies are cheats and copies, and the reason why the quality is just not there. And then you come bleating and bemoaning that you've got jumping drills and your drills don't fit, and it's kind of like, what? Excuse the French. What the fuck do you expect? Seriously. If you're going to go to a company that is less than scrupulous and has drill sizes that are not consistent, you are going to get a shit kit. So, shut up. Anyway. Yes. Soapbox. It annoyed me. So yeah, it was really disappointing to see so many ripped off, and it's kind of like, I could send, Zoe is out the English correspondent or English customer service person for us in every moment, and she's awesome, and I love the store. Absolutely loved working on my Leonid Afremov copy. Before I knew it was Leonid Afremov, I knew it was a bloody good artist, but I didn't know who he was until I then went on to DIY Moonshop and saw, oh, he's a licensed artist with DIY Moonshop. Okay. Yeah. And now the guy's dead, so his stuff is even more valuable. And it was just like, oh, man. So, yeah. I think... was it Shine Like a Diamond? Was it... No, it wasn't Beth Cromer. Who was it? One of the girls. Who had an issue with the whole copyright thing. And really put the awareness out in the community and really got us kind of looking at what we showed as creators, you know, and started to make a lot of us think. And yeah, it was a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of us 6 months or so ago. That is not the right colour. I couldn't be arsed looking for the right colour, although I might, no, they don't even go in colour. This is one of the things that slightly annoys me with the DMC, is they don't keep the colours in groups. So you don't go through from different, you know, from 1 to 2 to 3, going through the blues. My DMC book has 4 different what is it? 4 different kind of catalogues, if you want a term for it. One is the Da Vinci order, one is the something other order, and I'll grab it and just a tick and read these names out to you. It makes sense when you see it this way. And this is why I love the book. Unfortunately, it's $39 and it's hellishly expensive. I got it after Stitcherista did a promo on it, yikes, yonks ago. So I got it, I think, for $26. It's a very, very thin book. There is not a lot of substance to it. Let me show you. Alright, see, look, it's thin as, okay? There are probably, there's 31 pages, and out of the 31 pages, there is 7 of this larger-than-life writing, okay? So you've got 4 different charts. You've got the Da Vinci chart, which is in number order, okay? So their colours are scattered through. And what they suggest is, chart number 1 is the Da Vinci chart, chart number 2 is the Warhol chart, chart number 3 is the Van Gogh chart, and chart number 4 is the Picasso chart. Now, I don't know if Diamond Painting 911, Diamond 911. I can't think of what the girl's name is. This was almost like a self-published kind of book. She has got the website. So you've got the Da Vinci chart for the drills with out a DMC number. You've got chart number 2, which is the Warhol chart for drills with an unknown DMC number. Chart number 3 is, sorry, no, they're not. Diamond painting without drills and diamond painting with substitute drills, bad shaped drills. Anyway, I was wrong. Sorry, there is a reason why each of these charts are important. So yeah, the Da Vinci is in number order, okay? And you've got your 477 colours, okay, in the Da Vinci. And then you go into the Warhol chart. Now the Warhol chart is a slightly different order. No, it's not. They're in number order, but it's all one page. That was what that difference was. Okay, so you can see it all in one hit. Slightly harder to colour match. The Van Gogh has them in colour sorting. So it sorts all through the reds, and then the purples, the greens, the blues are all within each page. Okay, so is that starting to make a bit more sense? And then you got the browns and oranges and yellows and some of the reds as well. And then you've got and the browns and greys, and then you've got the Picasso chart. Now the Picasso chart is also in one page, and it's in color order. So the Warhol, as I say, I'm not sure who's come up with these names. Maybe it's a DMC thing. I'm inclined to think not. Oh, where have you gone? It's one page. There you are. So the Warhol chart is one page. The Picasso is one page. The Picasso has them all in color group. The Warhol has them in number order. Okay, so but it's a one-page site. So I've put drills on a couple of these pages. Again, when I kit down, I do this sticky method of putting the drills down so I know what have I got in my collection. You with me? Again, how my brain works. And I'm not making any apologies for it. There you go. Today is Tuesday for us. Tuesday is normally a day, when my husband makes soup. And today I made the soup. He's going to be making the bread. Oh my god. Seriously. He made the bread. He made white crusty bread from a bread box, baker's box. It's just a handy way of buying flour, I suppose. Anyway, brought this bread. It's specifically for crusty bread. We also have a mixed grain one. That might be it actually. In the bread collection, so it's like a Australia doesn't do brown bread properly at all. It's kind of like a white bread with grain, but it's slightly brown. I don't know. Yeah, they mill the brown too fine from Irish standards, and you probably wouldn't have any kind of brown bread, to be honest, in the States. So I'm not sure if you would even understand where I'm talking about. What? No. Is the story that brown bread? Yeah, brown bread just doesn't cut the mustard here. So anyway, we've got these two breads. We've got the crusty white and we've got the mixed grain. And yeah, I'm hoping that we have the crusty white. So he learned how to make the knots and the twisted Vienna last week. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And then of course he's arguing and fighting with me, saying we've got to have it so that the rolls are hot out of the oven and the butter's dripping off them and the soup is, you know, sitting in the slow cooker heating as it's been there all day kind of thing, just bubbling away. Yes, it's a bit decadent, to be honest. Yeah, it's a little bit decadent. Yeah, and then he started getting all kind of, oh yeah, I want these as a surprise, so no, you can't go into the kitchen and you can't peek and all this kind of carry on. I said, well fine, you can serve the soup then. So he begrudgingly served the soup and coordinated everything last week. Anyway, he's on rolls today, and I'm on soup.
I mean rolls. I
He's only on the rolls, and I'm only on the soup. And Miss 10 is going to get a cooking instructions. I told her she's got a really high bar to match, because she's got to make my mum's cookies soon-ish. They're what I've got in my recipe book called 234 biscuits, and it's basically a shortbread kind of biscuit. It's flour, butter, sugar. That's it. It's derived from the recipe being 2 ounces of butter, 3 ounces of flour, 4 ounces of 2 ounces of butter, 3 ounces of sugar, and 4 ounces of flour, something like that. I keep mixing it up. I always have to double check with the recipe book. And yes, so she's going to make those. And we'll see how she goes, because she will be using a mixer, which she has done before when she's made box cakes. But this is a kind of biscuit from scratch without being overly complicated. I could make her cream the butter and sugar with a wooden spoon, but to be honest, I'd like to have the biscuits sometime this week. It takes a bit of a strong arm to cream butter and sugar, and the machine just does it in like 10 seconds. It's no biggie. Although I had to learn to do it by hand, I think. And my mum did have a mixer. She had one of those old-fashioned Sunbeam mixers, but I don't think we ever used it for baking. I don't know. Anyway, these are favourite biscuits of mine. They're really simple. So simple. And they kind of melt in your mouth. They're not quite as short as shortbread, because they don't have corn flour in them, but they're yummy. Although I haven't been able to make them very well in the current oven. They either blow out too much or not enough, or they do something weird, or yeah, I need to have a more stable oven, and I don't think ours is crash hot for something that's maybe as finicky as these biscuits. Because you don't want them brown, which means that they come out looking like they haven't been cooked. And they're quite soft anyway, so, and they can break apart if you're too heavy-handed with them. So yeah, we'll see how we go. She tried making a, what was it, self-saucing pudding last weekend, and because she had been making brownies before, and she's kind of going, ooh, if we do, there's 2 different versions that you can do of this box brownie. One was to give you a fudgy finish, and one was to give you a cakey finish. So the fudgy finish was 32 minutes, for instance, and the cakey finish was 35 minutes. So she kind of nailed that by undercooking slightly the fudgy version. The problem being that she didn't really get the concept then when it came to doing this, basically a Victoria sponge with the self-saucing stuff. So I'm not quite sure what she did wrong. I don't know if she didn't put enough liquid in, although she says she did, or if she did something else. But it was dry, and the sponge was dry and horrible, and the sauce had disappeared. Whereas I think you were supposed to be able to cut into it and the sauce would, you know, dribble out from underneath and sauce your cake. So yeah, not quite there with the whole cake mixes, but she's doing really good with brownies. The brownies have been a hit. But yeah, the whole testing the cake to see if it's done, you know, isn't quite the same as testing bread to see if it's done. You know, you knock the bottom of the bread to see if it's done. If you get the hollow knock back, it's done. The dry kind of thing. I learnt that as a kid when Dad used to do brown bread, so he would let me watch him making Irish brown bread, hence me knowing about the brown breads. I can get a brown bread mix shipped to here, but it's something like $40 for a large bag that would make, I don't know, maybe 10 loaves. Which would be all kinds of cool, and I have done it before, but it's a bit expensive. And I've now found that I can get my Irish chocolate here, shh, don't tell Dad, because he had been putting them in the post up until, you know, the whole lockdown happened, and he hasn't sent me anything. And even then, I think the post has taken so freaking long. I ordered something the other week from WA. This thing would fit in a normal envelope, and I was told it was going to take 4 weeks to get here, and I was like, what the hell? It's a 2-day drive, and I have been told by Gemet 3D Art Australia, put a note up on their website, you know, to customers saying, hey look, this is what's going down at the moment for us. There is no air freight going from the west of Australia to the east coast. So that's the whole country this stuff has to traverse, and it's all going by road. Because the planes aren't in the air, because the bums aren't on the seats, because the bums aren't getting let out or let in to Western Australia. So these everlasting tips are coming from the original maker in WA, Nicole, and she does also ship to the UK. There is a UK distributor. So if you are interested in everlasting tips, they are stainless steel, not the brass tips that we see. So if you're keen and you're pretty hard on your tips, if you've worn them out for any reason, check out the everlasting tips. I will maybe. No, I probably won't put the link in here. I'll wait until I actually get it, and then you'll get the link then. But everlasting tips, she's on Etsy. I think it's as everlasting tips, to be honest. She is on Etsy, and it was really, really cool chatting with her. But it was like, what the hell? Why are these not? Why is it taking so long? Yeah. So the whole world has gone stupid. I did note I've received a package from Jessie, Mislaid Pages. I ordered from her Etsy shop, and that is, if you're familiar in the cross-stitch world, with Dinky Dye. Dinky Dye threads, and if you have watched Rachel, you will see that she is doing this as well. It's the, oh god, the rainbow sampler from Twisted something, and Jessie had the pattern and the Dinky Dyes threads on her website, so I contacted her and said, hey, Etsy says that you won't ship to me, but will you ship to me? And she went, yeah, sure. So she threw them in the mail after I did the purchase or whatever it was, and they finally got here 42 days later. Normally it takes about 3 weeks to get my stuff from the States, so everything just is going on the go slow. So yeah, it was just like, man. So I got a heap of stuff coming through from Ali, some little things. I think I also received those bags that I love using with my cross-stitch kits. So I think there's 2 of those. One might be a small pouch and one might be the big bag. So I've got to open those, and that will be an unboxing when my computer decides to behave itself again. And what else? So that's the mail. So I'm waiting on mail to get here, and it's just
Buy more things.
Yeah, buy more things. My husband says, yeah, it's payday today. I don't need the encouragement. Yes.
Ah, fantastic! I'll buy that $120 worth of filament then.
Oh God. He's buying all the filament. The reason why you cannot get any filament from, you cannot get anything from Archer's Arts and Dan 3D. He's buying it all. Sorry. They're all out of filament. They can't find any.
Cheap stuff.
They might be looking for cheap, or they might be looking for expensive stuff. I don't know. He's
eBay,
looking for cheap stuff.
eBay and Amazon, all the cheap stuff's gone.
All the cheap stuff is gone. It's still, look, seriously, it's still going to cost pennies for them to print the drill trays, and I don't know, I've never actually gone on to Archer's Arts or Dan's for prices. Oh, I did go on to Dan's for prices because I was trying to give the information to my hubby. Because, what?
I want to buy buy a $65 roll.
Far out.
PETG infused with carbon fibre.
Good God. Are you building a tent?
No, I don't know what to do with it yet.
I thought I had. Yeah, I've got 3 tins. Hang about. 3 tins. Look, you can never have enough 3 tins, can you? But I think I started the bag and I don't know why it didn't. I don't know, maybe I just threw it all into the tray all at once. I can't remember. But there's still half a bag in here as well. Oops. Alright. That's spare one. Alright. Yeah, so he's buying all your 3D filaments. So yeah, unfortunately we haven't started manufacturing anything. Although we were both watching a video the other day of a, sorry if I'm going to lose you here with some technical jargon, a dual extruder filament, dual extruder. So it basically printed with 2 different print heads that had different colors, or it could have had something that worked with different temperatures. And yeah, and I kind of said to him, ooh, go and get one. And he's going, what? Did you actually just say go and get another printer? So that would have brought us up to 3. I don't know what he's thinking, if he is actually going to go for that idea or not. Because I think he worked out he could eventually get one that was this printer or something that would do the job just as well, and it was around about the $600 Aussie dollar mark. Because we are, you know, talking about printing more stuff. He's slowly, very slowly, printing the stuff that I need for my light bridge to make it all pretty. At the moment my light bridge is silver grey, pale grey, and he's printing it in copper, and his printer doesn't like the copper. It's running too hot or something, and yeah, it gets its nose out of joint and stops. That is not this one just yet. Oh, what did I do? Did I do an oops? Oh, maybe I grabbed the wrong bag. Oh, that looks familiar. Oh. Hang on, I dropped a bag. I've got a bag here. I know when I was pulling them out with similar colours, I was throwing some of them into the wrong pile. Stupidly. No, it's too pale. No. Oh, that can go in there. Yeah, so that must have been one of them. Alright, last 2. Alright, now, I was going to say something. 3D printing. Don't think it was 3D printing related. Oh, I hate when that happens. It might come back to me. Hopefully it will. Gosh, that's frustrating. Oh well. The joys. Senility. Can I put it down to senility? What was I going to do? What was I talking about? I was talking about what I was going to get up to, I think, this week. And printing, somehow. Oh, and 3D printing? Yeah, no, the other printer? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, back to work on Monday. Joys. I gave Trixie to my daughter to do. and she finished it in a couple of weeks, or a week or so, pretty well. She never sent me a photo of it. The first day she was given it, she sent me a message that night, and I actually feel quite bad about this because I laughed at her. She said, I can't get the pink stuff into the pen, and I went, Raffle, or ROFL, did you peel off the film that was on it? And I think she probably felt like a real idiot. She didn't send me a message for days. I was like, oh, my bad. Yeah. But, yeah, she seemed to enjoy it. She doesn't have the storage or kits or anything else. So she was working out of, like, the 3 bags that you get with the Diamond Art Club kit. And I kind of forgot about all the gear that she, you know, could have had, that she could have found handy. What? No, Sophie. No. But she didn't ask me for help, and, you know, I tried not to be too in her face with it. Yeah. I wish that relationship was better. But anyway, marriage breakups and damage done. Anyway. Alright, I am nearly done. Alright, so what is happening coming up? Well, this is going to be going up, and my computer, as I said, is slogging its little heart out. Far out. It still says it's got over 6 hours remaining. What I've ended up doing is I've got my kind of final review and wrap up video processing at the moment, and I've sped up the video of the final 2 video clips, which is basically the girl in the center, and I've sped them up, and I think it's so sped up and compressed while the computer is doing its exporting. It's just kind of going like a hamster on the wheel and struggling big time, and it's just screaming at the top of its lungs as it's churning through all this stuff. And yeah, it's not happy, Jan. Right, now I need to put these somewhere back in my bag storage, and find a bag that's gonna hold all of these. So I don't need a big bag, so let's take a look at one of those. So these are my small bags, and they are reasonably small. I could use that. See, was it something? Reuse, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. It's got a hole in it for air, so it's not going to be anything overly fancy. It looks like food came in it. It's all stained, but that's not the point. The point is, there are all the drills for this kit. There is my card saying what they are, and that gets sealed and will need to go into a container. These are my current spare drills. They're in a 3.8 litre container. These drills are now oversized, so that will get upgraded. Now I have a storage bag, storage box, ready to go. All these beautiful labels on the boxes, labeling up to 35 in the containers. This can go wherever the hell this was. And this can go back in to these storage containers. It was, oh, yes. When I did my finish of her indoors, I put sparklers through her hair and the crown, because the crown is important. And it was so much fun working with the sparklers. If you haven't worked with the sparklers before, consider grabbing some. Tina's website is now up and running. It's behaving itself properly now that the traffic is kind of eased off. So she has a ton of orders that she's working through. There are a few in the background issues, just trying to get labels printed and stuff. It's just systems needing to be authorized and finalized, and make sure she's not a, you know, shonky seller on PayPal and all that kind of crap. So things are going a little bit slowly from that point of view, but she's printing the labels, she's getting the orders done, she's flying through them much quicker than she used to do, and once the labels start getting released from PayPal, then it will be even quicker again. So yeah, the new website is up. It is dpwithsparklers.com. So please go check her out. The sparklers are absolutely incredible. They, as I said, I think before on my other sparkly videos, they've got little flat tops. So the top of the mountain has been chopped off. And the sparkle and the shine is just incredible. Please go and check out my finish and post review if you want to get some close-up pictures of them, of the shiny bits. I guess that's it. That's a storage bag. Yay. Gummy. As I said, I will have shopping and toys coming in the mail. Yeah, slow boat China. Ooh! Completely beside the point, I suppose. Speaking of slow boats to China, there was news during the week. My husband sent me a link, and it was a shipping container. Sorry, a ship of shipping containers of goods from China to Australia. It was off the coast of Australia or something. Freak wave hit the thing and they lost 40 containers, and he's gone, there goes my orange ply. And it was like, yeah, but what about all the other things that might be in these containers? And it was like, oh my god, that's just tragic. Anyway, they've gone out and they've tried to find where these containers are. You often see pictures of, you know, rough seas and container ships that, you know, have the containers kind of hanging off, and yeah, it's a little bit scary. So yeah, container ship went splat. So yeah, not so fun if you are waiting on shipments. These are the times that we're in though, and you know, everything is taking longer. So I hope I've got no mail in those containers. Wait and see. I won't be holding my breath too hard. Yeah, not quite sure where my stuff is. It just says leaving Singapore or something on some of them. Anyhow, alright, I'll let you go. Thank you for joining me for my kidding down. Hope you've enjoyed it. As I said, if you are reusing your labels, please, please, please be super careful with those symbols. You can't reuse the symbols. They don't necessarily translate. And I know 310 on this occasion was the same. It's not always. I have seen another 310 being a different symbol as well, which throws you a bit if you go from one DAC to the next DAC without a break. You might be looking at the symbols going, oh, this is that color, and you're kind of going, oh, no, it's not. So maybe take a bit of a break, have a look at different symbols, charts, and all that kind of thing in between, just to give your brain a bit of a break, because I know that by the end of it you're kind of going, oh, I know that color, and oh, I know where that symbol is, and you know, it's muscle memory by then. So yeah, have fun with your diamond painting. Please stay safe, and yeah, do everything that you need to do to keep you and your loved ones safe. It's still going to be uncertain times for quite a while. On my side, the series is finished. On your side, you've got 2 more months left of it. So I need to get thinking what I'm going to do as the next series, and yeah, we'll see what pops up on my channel. Nearly at 800 subscribers. wow. I'm still quite incredulous as to how I've got there. That I've got the regular people who comment on my videos and people who watch and don't comment, you know, either way. That I've got the regular viewers of my videos, that, you know, I've got people who continually find me and kind of say, oh, hey, you know, haven't joined your channel recently, or, you know, I'm a new subscriber, or whatever it is. I see the likes of Rachel and Mrs. Coffee, and they've got over the 10,000 mark, and I see others and they're over the 1,000 or over the 2,000, and they're getting the membership kind of things coming up as new things among the YouTube community, so where you can join the membership of the channel. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can change this. Kinda. Okay, ignore that photo. Ignore that. It's just fluff in the background. So yeah, the join membership has been coming up quite recently. It's a new thing. It used to, the information I've got off Google is that it's for people over 10,000 subscribers or something. These are not over, sorry, not even 10,000, over 100,000 subscribers. You can join the channel as a member, and that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing much smaller channels getting the join membership, so that's really, really cool. That there are things changing, so you don't have to be a Patreon supporter. You could just, you know, join the channel if it's someone that you want to support for a couple of bucks a month. I think it's like $3, $5, and there's different tiers to give you different things. I am thinking, if we do a Patreon, how we do it, what it is that I can offer that's a little bit different.
Broadcast from Marcus. Time to drive car to mummy.
That's my pickup from work. Hasn't stopped. So yeah, just trying to get my head around what, if anything, I offer. Time is fairly limited for me, sort of, and I don't want it to become a chore, and mailing from Australia is going to cost, so there's no point in you paying for Patreon services from me to then be losing it to the mailing system. I think that's redundant. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's something that you would be interested in. I know one thing that was mentioned this morning in one of the groups was about advertising and how some people don't like seeing the ads on channels. Yes, when I get to eligibility, I will probably have ads on my channels. I have YouTube Premium. It doesn't really bother me because I don't like watching the ads anyway. I will flick through after the 30 seconds goes through. When I can skip, I skip. But having the premium means I don't get the ads, and I know that the creator's being paid. Job done. I know when I have watched a big creator, I'm not going to name names on this occasion, I know when I have watched a big creator and they've got lots of ads through their stuff, that it's like, oh my god, not another ad. And it's like, are you just after the money for us? But this was, you know, how they were trying to do their channel. It was just how they were operating. So yeah. Oh, look, there she is. There. That's where I've got her. Up behind me. So yeah. Alright, I'll let you go. Thank you for joining me, and yes, as I've already said, please stay safe and keep your loved ones safe. And I will see you around on the tubes. Bye for now.